Hello, Jim Adams here. Today I want to share with you the tricks and the things I do to kind of plan my option sales. What I do to make it easy, the tricks I've learned, and kind of how I've been able to make it a passive type of adventure versus something that's like a job. So stay tuned. I think you're going to enjoy what I have for you. Welcome to the Easy Investing Income YouTube channel. This is a channel that I set up to share with people that you can actually make good money selling options in a safe manner. You don't have to take a lot of risk and it doesn't need to be like a job. So today I want to share with you what I do kind of on a weekly basis, how I plan my options sales, and how I've been able to turn this into more of a passive adventure than a full-time job. To start off with, I each week on Mondays I typically do what I call a planning worksheet. So I look out 2 3 weeks, and I look at options that'll be expiring. I also look at ex-dividend dates. I look at the things that might cause the current options I have to either be assigned or where I might end up taking a loss. So I start looking at what I need to track at that time, and I actually add them to the spreadsheet. At the end of this video, I'm actually going to do a demo and show you my spreadsheet for this week. Next, I also, once I've got that spreadsheet, each day I jump on and I look at any options that are at 90% profitability, and I'll show you how I do that again in the demo at the end of this. And it's real easy. If anything's over 90% profitable, I will go ahead and close that and take the profit at that time. I found that I've been able to make more money by doing this, mainly because when I want to sell an option later on, I can get a better price compared to if I have to close and then open something or roll something. And then I also will constantly work on my watch list, and I'm going to share that too. I'll show you what I currently have on my watch list, and I'm able to sort that watch list and do a lot of nice tricks with it to see kind of who will have good premium. Typically, if it's a down day and you're looking to sell a put, you can find some good premium or even better premium on stocks that are down that day. And of course, these are stocks that I'm interested in. I've eliminated the ones that are really volatile. So I had shared in my previous video that I'm not going to sell any more ARC puts. The only exception is I currently own about 100 shares of ARC, and that's ARC Innovative, and I will sell options on the call side or covered calls. I will not be selling any more cash secured puts with ARC. It's just too risky. And then this all kind of lends itself to this passive trading and how I get on and then I get back off, and I do market trades. Now with Schwab, when you do a market trade, it allows you to you can see exactly how much profit you're going to make, and if they can do better for you, they typically will. Like I did a trade. Actually, I sold a covered call on ARC yesterday, and it was showing I'd make 125. When all was said and done, I made closer to 130. They actually improved the trade a bit, and every time, and I've done over probably close to 300 trades this year. Every trade, when I go to close it and it's a market trade, I've always gotten those values. It's never been something different, which is, I don't know if that's unique to Schwab. If it is unique to Schwab, let me know. If you're trading with someone else like Interactive Brokers or Robinhood or something along those lines, and you found the same thing every time you do a market trade, you get those values when you click that submit button. And this has allowed me to really make it passive, meaning I think on Monday the market was down close to 600 points, and I got on and I literally was on for 45 minutes, did 3 trades, made close to $400, and that was my day. I went off, did some stuff with my son for Christmas, and didn't get back on until the next day again in the morning looking to see what was going on. So it's it's allowed me to do the things I want to do and not turn this into a full-time job. If I was day trading, and I've not really tried day trading. I've watched a couple videos from different people who are doing day trading, and it seems like it's almost like a full-time job that you have to be on the computer for hours on end. For me, I'm typically not on the computer more than a couple hours a week, maybe 4 or 5 hours. I spend a lot more time doing these videos and working on my YouTube stuff. So, with that being said, again, thank you for joining me. I'm going to move into the next part of this video, which will be the demo section. And as always, please subscribe. Please hit that like button. If you want to become a patron, I have two levels. I've got what I call the investor level, that's 10 a month, and it includes all my spreadsheets. Whenever I do a trade, I submit that trade to so where all my patrons are aware of it. Literally, as soon as I do the trade, I go out onto Patreon and I actually post what I did with that trade. And all my worksheets are there, so any of the worksheets that you see in any of these videos you have access to. Now, for the higher level, I do a weekly meeting. You can join us right now. There's three of us doing a weekly meeting, and we share stock ideas. We share goals, where we want to be, what we want to do, how much we want to make. And that also includes Discord, where you can submit questions to me if you're worried about a specific trade or if you're taking too much risk. As a patron trader, you can actually submit those questions and I will respond fairly quickly. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the next part of this video, which will be the demos. Thanks for joining me. Okay, I've opened up my planning spreadsheet in Excel, and you can see here for the next 2 weeks I don't have a whole lot going on. So I do put the date, I do put any investments that I'm looking at purchasing, especially if I want to sell covered calls on something. I'll typically enter them here. I also share where I stand with the current account. So in my brokerage for December, I'm already above the 2,500. I'm at 2,688, which meaning I really don't need to do any more trading this month if I don't want to. Now, if the market does a major move, then I probably will, because there'll be some good buying opportunities. Now, in my Roth IRA, I'm currently down $164, and that relates to selling the ARC put and taking a loss on it. I took close to I took an $827 loss on it. So I'm currently in that account down 164 for this month. Now, I probably will do some more trading in that to see if I can maybe break even for the month. The previous month I did, I think, over $800, which is close to a little more than 1.5% for that month, which would be like an 18% return for the year. But because of taking that loss with ARC, I'm kind of sitting a little negative here. Now, the next part of this worksheet, I show what's expiring. So I have XLE, which is an ETF related to gas and gasoline and gas companies, and it's an exchange traded fund, and it's in the money currently. And I mention, of course, the status that it's in the money. I also mention where it is. It's a vertical put, and it's in my broker 2 account, and then one is also in my Roth IRA, and I mentioned the expiration. So one isn't expiring till next Friday. So I've got today and then a good bit of next week to be able to manage that and probably roll it. I'm probably going to look at rolling it. But I'm okay with it being assigned too, because it pays a good dividend. I think it's paying close to 4.5% dividend. Same thing here, but this one's expiring January 7th, so I've got a little bit more time. I also write down the ex-dividend dates. Both those were December 20th, so it's already passed, so I don't need to worry about an ex-dividend date causing an early assignment. Typically, what I've seen, or what's happened to me with most of my assignments, is I get assigned because of an ex-dividend date that I wasn't tracking, so I continually track that every week. So those I haven't done any trade on. Again, I'm probably going to roll them, but I'll decide at the time. They may come out of the money, especially with the market being up yesterday, and I think it's up today too. We'll look at the market here in a minute. And then I've done 4 trades this week, so I do mark down the trades. So I actually set up a vertical put for DVY, which is another ETF that I really like, and I did that for 110 and 98. I mentioned the current price, so it's 116, and I made $181 on it. So a fairly good trade, and so it's pretty far out of the money currently, so I'm not too worried about it, but it doesn't expire till 121, so I'll be able to roll it or deal with it next month and make even more money with it. WBA, which is Walgreens, I did a 45-35 vertical put, so the short was 45, the put I purchased, it was 35, and I made $131. It's currently at 48, so it's still $3 outside the money, and I think it's gone up recently, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is a little bit higher depending on what's happening with the market today. And then so I typically track each of these. I also did Lumen, which if you look at its revenues has been down, but its profits are going way up, and it pays a good dividend. I think it pays 7 or 8%, and it's only $11. So I actually sold three of these contracts and made $118. And these are some of my stocks of interest currently. And then I did the ARC cover call that I mentioned yesterday, where I made actually more money with it doing a market call. And all my trades now are market calls. I don't do anything but market calls. I also don't go back and look at things and say, oh, I could have made more money, which I guess if I spent most of the day doing limit calls, we're selling a put or a call and using a limit strike price, I could maybe make a little bit more money, but it's not worth my time. I like to get on and off and be done. And let's see, I did a 110 covered call for ARC, and it's currently at 98. I think it's down today. So it's fairly far out of the money, and I made $129. It was a delta of around 0.20. So those are some of the trades that I did this week. And again, let's see, I made $560 and probably spent no more than an hour, maybe 2 hours at most. But very little work. And these are the companies that, or ETFs and companies that I like. I still like XLE. I like DVY, WBA, Lumen, LUMN, and ARC. Of course, I'm not going to be selling any more puts. I'm just going to be doing covered calls. I do have 100 shares, and when this expires, I'll look at doing another one. But there again, I'm not going to be selling any more puts. To me, it's too risky. I do still think it can go down quite a bit. So, and then at the bottom of it, I mentioned recently sold or expired. So I had Prudential, DVY, and Cisco, and I share this or put this here because every time, I let something expire or I sell it because of the profit, I'd like to mark it here. That way I know it's something I need to look at. So typically if I put it here, I also put it in the stocks of interest. Like here, you can see I completed these three, and DVY I had put over here, so I knew I needed to do it. And same thing with Prudential. I didn't sell a put on Prudential on Monday, and its market's been up since Monday, so I haven't found very much premium for it. But I like Prudential. They pay a good dividend, and Prudential is who I use for my life insurance. So I like the company. I think they do good work. And then I also have Cisco. Cisco had also expired, and so I'm looking to maybe sell a put on it with the next down day of the market. So, and then I also mentioned down here sell calls when the market is up, and I did that with ARC, so I can actually change this to green. I don't need to do that again. And then Verizon, I do have a fair amount of Verizon, and I've had a tough time selling any covered calls with it, but I'm hoping at some point it's paying a really good dividend. I'm hoping I can sell some and make some good money with it. So this this is my tracking. This is my planning worksheet. I release it every Monday to my patrons, and at the end of the week I just make a copy, and I again look out 2 or 3 weeks, and I probably don't spend more than an hour on getting this ready on Monday and looking at what's out there, where I need to really be focused and keep my kind of keep myself, things I need to keep a look at, or keep in my list here to be sure I don't make any mistakes. So at this point, let's go ahead and let me jump into the next part of the demo, which will be actually showing you how I look at the profitability, and then also the watch list, how I actually use it on Schwab. So let's go ahead and jump into that. Okay, now I've actually jumped into Schwab. I've logged in and I've clicked on accounts, and it's given me a list of the accounts, and you can actually see it shows you, positions, equities, and this is, I'm not showing the top part, which actually has my account numbers, but you can actually see it. You can sort by equities, you can sort by ETFs and closed-end funds, mutual funds, and options. This is the part that I'm interested in, so we'll expand that. And you can see here you've got gain or loss, so you can click this and sort it. And this is all I do. I jump in, and the first thing I do when the market's open is to see if anything is 90%. So here you can see Intel at 57.50 is 88%. Now I've been sticking to 90, but at times I might go ahead and close something, especially if I need a little bit more margin for something else. But you can see I've got three that are fairly close: BMI, which is Bristol Myers, SCHW, which is Schwab, and I've got a 70 put on it, so it looks like it's getting ready to potentially expire outside the money. So I might be able to close it if it reaches the 90%, and then Intel. So fairly simplistic. Again, I just do this first thing in the morning, and if there's any to close, I go ahead and close them. So now let me go up here to research. Now I'm going to show you the watch list. So this next part is the view watch list, and I actually have two. I'm teaching my son, who's 18 and delayed entry into the Marines. I'm teaching him to how to do it too. So we've got two lists. We've got the Wesley list, which is my son, and we also have 2021 investments. So I usually like to click on this view full watch list, and it brings up another form. And again, you've got lots of information, and these are all the stocks that I like. And you can sort them by how they're doing that day. So if I want to see what's up by a percentage, what's up or down, you can actually sort it. So I'll sort what's down. So I don't have many covered calls. Um, Okay, so right now not much is down. It must be a good day for the market. Let's look at, yeah, it's up 228 again. So the market's been going up and up and up. So if you're trying to sell puts, it's not a good day for selling puts. For covered calls, possibly. But this allows you, you can see the day change. If it's down quite a bit today, and it's something I want to own, which most of these are things I'm willing to own, I would jump into it and I would look to see, like Smith and Wesson at $17 is a pretty good value, but I could jump into it. But I can actually look at, where it's been trading, what 52-week range. You can see it's close to the bottom of the 52-week range. You can also change the view. So that was the quote view. You can change it to the basic view, which gives you dividend yield, dividend X date, dividend pay date. Makes it easy to find everything in one spot. So the watch list in Schwab just makes life a lot easier. You can also see the PE ratio. I like to look at dividend yield, and I'll a lot of times sort on dividend yield because my goal isn't just selling options and making premium. It's also being able to make good money with the dividend yield. So right now this is 5%, and 1.99. But some of these can pay quite well. Oh, well, I'm actually in Wesley's list. Let's switch over to the 2021 investments. That's why I'm seeing limited information here. So here you can see BPMP, which is something I like to own, and it's paying close to 9% in dividend yield. And I've been able to make some pretty good premium with it too. And for it being fairly expensive, if you've got a small account, it's something worthwhile trading. And again, that's BPMP, which is British Petroleum Midstream Partners. So they deal with a lot of the pipelines. And here's Lumen, and you can see it pays a 7.84 dividend yield. So a lot of information here. It makes managing it fairly easy. So, and then the next one, let's not jump into that. Let's go into the analyst ratings. So you can actually see the analyst ratings too, all in one place. So here you can see Apple, again, and something else that I've been interested in, AbbVie. But I keep everything in one spot. It makes it relatively easy to work with. Let me just go back into quotes. So if I'm ready to trade and I find something that's of interest, so iRobot, let's say I wanted to go into iRobot, I can just click on it. It'll bring it up. Then I can, do my research. I can look at, its chart. I can look, what its 52-week range is. I can make some decisions. I can jump into options um, and look at, where the options are currently. Since it's down a little bit, options may be pretty good. So let's jump into options, and you'll see here don't have a whole lot of movement. You do have bid and ask. You can see what is that, 62? What's it currently? 67. And if we go to full option change, that way you can see what the premium is. So puts are down actually, even though the stock is down. Usually this isn't the case. Of course, it could be that it's expiring today. So let's change that. Let's go out. Let's go out to January 7th, and these should be okay. Not many trades there. Expand all. Here you can see some pretty good premium. I would probably look at more like the 60, so I would come back up and I would change this to a custom range, and I would let's do 60. Actually, let's do 58, and let's do this up to 67. And you can see a little bit more premium. So even at 60, we're talking 30, 35, and that's only for 15 days. Let's go a little farther out. Let's do the 29 days. So here you can see a better premium. For the 60, like I mentioned earlier, you can make potentially $1.25. So that not bad and that's one contract. So you do two contracts, you're making close to 200. Now, what I like to do at this point too is also switch to Greeks, and then did it switch? Yeah, it did. Here you can see delta. So I also like to look at a 20 delta, and it happens to be $60. So not bad. That's something I would consider. And if I went out a little farther, which is 36 days, and again I looked at the 20 delta, which is between these two, 59 and 60, and here you can see about the same. So I probably would look at trading the one before it. And then if you're actually looking at Greeks and you want to trade it, so let's say we wanted to trade this 60, which 0.201, you can say select, and you can click trade here, but I still like going back to puts and then clicking trade here. So if we click trade here, okay, so here you can actually see it fills out the form for you. And then if I do sell to open and say this is a cash secured put, this is where I do market. So I'll click on market order, and this 105 is what you would get. You could potentially get better, and that's what happened to me yesterday on a call. It'll actually, in the order status, you'll see a better than 105. When you look at the status, it'll be like 110, 115. So, and all my orders are market orders. Like I said, if this was my day and I wanted to do this, and right now I'm not sure about iRobot. I've sold a lot of options on it, but I'm not quite sure at this point if it's an investment I want to make, if I want to sell a put on it. If I mean, it doesn't do any harm to click on review order, so we'll click on that, and here we go. So again, it's showing you what the fees are, 104.35. At this point, it still shows the original amount of 105, but when you actually process the order is when it can potentially be more. It'll never be less. It'll never be less than this amount from my experience. And I've done over 300 trades in the last year. Probably total, I've done closer to 400 and typically do market trades. I do, I get this or a little bit better. So that's how I make it really passive by doing these market trades. If I had, let me go back. It took me out of there. I went back too far. Now, if I had done a limit order, then I would have to put a limit price, and I might not get it. If you do it this way with Schwab, you'll see it out there. It'll be open, and if the market goes up and down, you might need to change that limit price. But that's where I did do it that way for a little while, and I ended up having to come back and manage the trade, and come back and manage the trade, and it ended up being 3 times as much work. Where just doing a market trade and getting what I'm happy with worked out really well for me, and it allowed me to make this really passive. So that's it. Those are kind of the big tricks. Again, typically in a typical day, I'll get on the market like I just showed you. I'll look at any that have that profitability. Then I'll jump into the watch list. I'll see what's down, what I'm interested in that day, and if it's a down market day, then I'll look at puts. If it's a significant up day, then I'll look at calls. With the exception that if anything's in that 90% profitability, I'll go ahead and close it, so that I can potentially write another one down the road for more profit. So if you have any comments, please add them below. If as always, please subscribe, hit that like button, and I hope you the best, and I hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I will be posting another video next week, which I think will be a synopsis of the whole year, and how I did looking at the whole year, and maybe going over my couple of my biggest mistakes. So again, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye bye.